This is Sonam Wangchuk, an engineer, an educator, the man who inspired a character in the film Three Idiots. And for 19 days, he has chosen not to eat. Not by accident, by conviction. Today, doctors watch him around the clock. So let's understand, with respect, exactly what a human body goes through when a person makes a choice like this. To understand what he's going through, start with a single fact. The human brain is astonishingly hungry. It's only about 2% of your body weight, yet it burns close to 20% of your energy, roughly 120 grams of glucose, every single day. And here lies the problem. The brain cannot run on fat. Fatty acids can't cross the protective barrier around it, so pure sugar is almost the only fuel it will accept. Neurons store almost none of their own fuel either. They depend on a fresh supply of glucose from the blood, second by second. So the moment food stops arriving, a quiet emergency begins. The brain still demands its sugar, and nothing new is coming in. At first, the body is prepared. Stored in the liver is a reserve of sugar called glycogen, about 100 grams of it, ready to go. As blood sugar starts to fall, the body lowers a hormone called insulin and raises another called glucagon. That signal tells the liver to unlock its glycogen and release sugar into the blood. For the first several hours, this works beautifully. Now, your muscles actually hold far more glycogen than your liver does, but they can't share it. Muscle is missing a key enzyme needed to send sugar back out into the bloodstream, so it can only burn its store for itself. That leaves only the liver's small reserve to feed the brain, and within roughly a day, it runs dry. So the body must answer a harder question. Where will the sugar come from now? Here, the body does something quietly profound. To protect the brain, it begins to draw on itself. The process even has a name: gluconeogenesis, making new glucose. Inside the liver, the body carefully takes apart some of its own muscle and pulls out the building blocks within: amino acids, especially one called alanine. It rebuilds those into fresh glucose for the brain. A stress hormone, cortisol, rises to drive this breakdown along. And it is costly. In these early days, the body can dismantle as much as 75 grams of its own protein each day. This is why, after more than 2 weeks, doctors say Sonam Wangchuk has begun to lose muscle. His body is spending itself, quite literally, to keep him alive. It is the physical price of his resolve. But the human body is built to endure. It cannot keep sacrificing muscle. So it changes strategy entirely. It turns to fat. Stored fat is released and carried to the liver, which breaks it apart and transforms it into a cleaner emergency fuel: molecules called ketone bodies. There are 3 of them. 1, acetone, is simply breathed out, which is why people deep in a fast often have a faint, sweet, fruity breath. And here's the elegant part. Unlike fat, these ketones can cross into the brain, so the brain slowly rewires itself to run on them. After a week or 2, it draws as much as 2/3 of its energy from ketones, cutting its sugar demand from 120 grams a day down to around 40. The breakdown of muscle slows sharply. Scientists call this protein sparing. The body even lowers its own metabolic rate to conserve what little it has. This single adaptation, living on fat and ketones, is the reason a person survives not days but weeks without food. It is what has carried him all the way to day 19. So where does that leave him today? His body is running mainly on fat, deep in that fat-burning state. He is taking only water with a little salt. That salt matters. It gives him sodium, which helps protect him from the real dangers of drinking plain water alone. But it offers no calories, no potassium, no vitamins. None of the nutrients his cells are slowly using up. He has lost close to 9 kilograms. His blood pressure and his blood sugar have fallen, and he is now under 24-hour medical watch, with doctors urging him to stop. And here, the biology quietly matches what he feels. Because he has adapted to burning fat, his body is not in sudden collapse, which is exactly what he has described. "I am not in good shape," he said, "but not so bad either. My condition is not such that I will die in 2 or 4 days. I can continue for many more days." But there is a limit that conviction alone cannot move. Fat reserves are finite. As they run low, ketone production falls and the body is forced back to breaking down protein. Only now there is little muscle left to give, so it begins to consume the organs themselves. This is the most dangerous phase. In prolonged starvation, the end usually comes from the heart, because the heart is a muscle too, and because losing minerals like potassium can throw its rhythm into chaos. The immune system weakens at the same time, leaving the body open to infection, and there is danger even in stopping. If someone eats too quickly after a long fast, the sudden surge of insulin pulls minerals out of the blood so fast, it can trigger a fatal heart rhythm, a condition called refeeding syndrome. It is one reason doctors must be present, whatever he decides, and it is why his fast has now reached the courts. The Delhi High Court has ordered constant monitoring by government doctors, weighing whether his life must be protected even against his own wishes. Noting, simply, that every life is precious. Sonam Wangchuk understands this biology better than most. He has weighed the costs and chosen to continue, asking that people not plead with him to eat, but instead stand with the cause he believes in. You may agree with his demands, or you may not. That part is yours to decide. But the science leaves no doubt. Every hour he continues, his own cells pay for it, and that deserves to be understood clearly and respected fully. If this gave you a clearer, fairer picture of what a hunger strike truly is, consider subscribing. We explain the science behind the moments the whole country is watching.